Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum viewers. Welcome to another edition of Defense and Diplomacy. I'm your host Sultan M. Hali. Ever since its inception, Pakistan's nuclear program has been opposed and criticized by its detractors. In fact, in 1998, when India crossed the nuclear threshold, it went belligerent because it wanted to call Pakistan's bluff. It was to its utter surprise when Pakistan proved that it had achieved a certain maturity and was able to cross the nuclear threshold itself. However, times haven't changed. Pressures are on sometimes for us to sign the CTBT or the FMCT. But to discuss some of these matters, we have decided to call to our studio today not two seasoned diplomats or analysts, but we have invited the youth because it is such an important issue that we want to know how our youth feels about this. So to discuss FMCT and Pakistan, we are honored to have in our studio today Nasir Naveed, who is a research fellow at FMCT, and his area of expertise is arms control and disarmament. And we have with us Rida Zeenat, who is also a research fellow at FMCT, and her area of expertise is South Asian security. Welcome. At the outset, Nasir, for the benefit of us viewers, I would like you to please explain very briefly some of these terms, like what is FMT, what is FMCT, what is PAROS, NSA, and CD.
Thank you very much, sir. First of all, before we move forward, I would like to talk about what is fissile material, so that even a layman can understand what a fissile material is. Fissile material basically is a material which can be used for the production of nuclear weapons. There are two types of fissile materials. One is uranium and the other is plutonium. And what is CD? Conference on Disarmament. CD is the term abbreviation of Conference on Disarmament. It was created in 1979 in Geneva. It is a body of United Nations, and there are 65 members of it. And the beauty of this conference is that it works on consensus. Only it is a multilateral forum which negotiations on arms control, disarmament, conventional weapons, chemical weapons, biological weapons can be negotiated, can be discussed at this platform. And most importantly, it is a multilateral forum, sole international body. Other international bodies like UN General Assembly, UN Security Council, they have their own other functions, their own other purposes, but the sole purpose of disarmament is the Conference on Disarmament. As far as the FMCT, FMT, PAROS, these are concerns. There are basically 4 agenda items on the CD's platform currently. Those are FMT or FMCT, then PAROS, then negative security assurance, and the 4th one is nuclear disarmament. First of all, we will talk about FMT or FMCT. It is basically, FMT means Fissile Material Treaty, and FMCT means that Fissile Material Cut-off Treaty. There are 2 debates on it. One is about FMCT and the other is about FMT. And those who are talking about FMCT, they are of the view that the only cut in future production should be made in the fissile material. But those states, those who are in support of FMT, they are of the view, they believe that the existing stocks of fissile material should also be considered in the treaty, so that the imbalanced discriminatory approach can be contained. And the second one is PAROS, Prevention of Arms Race in Outer Space. It is basically an initiative to ban all sort of weaponization of space, so that space can be human friendly and we can use it for positive purposes, for human friendly purposes, instead of militarizing and weaponizing space and making it also a war field. So for this purpose, in 2008, China and Russia placed a draft of a treaty in Conference on Disarmament, which was named as the PPWT, Placement of Prevention of Weapons in Outer Space, but it couldn't get concrete achievement. And the third one is negative security assurance. There are 2 types of assurances. One is positive and second is negative. Positive assurance is basically when nuclear weapon states give their allies, their friends, assurances that when a third nuclear weapon state will attack on them with nuclear weapons, then they will come to support of their friend and they will use nuclear weapons against that state to defend their own friend, their ally. And the negative security assurance is that non-nuclear weapon states party to the NPT demand from nuclear weapon states that nuclear weapons should not be used against non-nuclear weapon states in any circumstances, under any circumstances, whether that is war, whether that is any other mishap or misunderstanding due to which a war can be started. And the last one is nuclear disarmament. Nuclear disarmament is also on the platform of CD as the one of the crucial agenda items. But nuclear weapon states, especially the Westerns, United States, Russia, China, France, Germany, France and Britain, they haven't taken concrete steps towards the nuclear disarmament. Article 6 of NPT also talks about nuclear disarmament, but there have been a reluctancy from all these states. They are not interested in nuclear disarmament. Instead, they are focusing on those issues which are in their interest.
Right. So you hold that thought. Thank you very much for a very elaborate discussion, because you have introduced this subject.
Exactly.
So Rida, why is Pakistan opposed to FMCT? What are its problems?
So basically, the thing is that Pakistan actually sticks to FMT, which Pakistan says that if you want to cap a nuclear weapons program, then there should be complete and general disarmament. This will actually create a disparity between India and Pakistan. That if you only consider the banning of future production of fissile materials only. Pakistan has actually got some legitimate concerns. That is why it is sticking to its position. Currently, Pakistan is being abused that it is actually blocking the conference of disarmament. But Pakistan is not blocking the conference of disarmament, but behind its blockage, some legitimate concerns lie under it. So the first thing is that the Indian aggressiveness and its hegemonic posture, which the point of reference is, here is actually to the Cold Start Doctrine, which is an Indian military doctrine which was introduced in 2004. And according to that, if any kind of terrorist attack takes place inside Indian soil, India, without any evidence, without any data collection, it would conduct an attack on Pakistan through it will conduct multiple assaults through 8 different points with the help of its integrated battle groups. And the weakness of this doctrine is that India thinks that it will not cross the nuclear threshold of Pakistan, whereas Pakistan considers its nuclear weapons an integral part of its defense system in order to cover the conventional superiority of India. The second thing is the rapid technological inflow inside in this region. India currently has $42 billion of its military budget, and it is busy in signing different deals related to military equipment, and also some nuclear deals with France and also Russia. Then the third thing is that in the Indian acquisition of ballistic missile defense program, which is actually a threat to Pakistan and also to China. Now this kind of situation will create a security dilemma within the region, and it will ultimately engage China and Pakistan into a certain kind of an arms race. Now India is very clear of the fact that Pakistan's economy does not support it, and Pakistan cannot engage, and it is not also, Pakistan's policy is not to engage in arms race, but Pakistan thinks that it must have credible minimum deterrence, which is not to engage in arms race, but to improve its nuclear weapons qualitatively, so in order to maintain its deterrence. And the fourth thing that comes into our mind is that the Indo-US nuclear deal, which took place in 2005. And according to deal, India is being given certain kind of waivers. First thing is that India has been given an NSG waiver, according to which India is
If you could
free.
just explain for the benefit of our audience, what is NSG?
Well, NSG is a multilateral export control regime, and it has...
and NSG stands for Nuclear Supply
yes,
Group.
NSG stands for Nuclear Supplies Group. And according to that, it is a kind of regime in which the states, they can have a nuclear trade between them. And when India is being a member of this NSG group, the thing which Pakistan is afraid of is that
So
NSG is
if you hold that thought, I would like to solicit your opinion.
Sir, I want to add a couple of things over here. NSG, interestingly, India conducted its peaceful nuclear test, so-called peaceful nuclear test, in 1974. And interestingly, NSG was created in 1975. And the purpose of NSG was to block or was to contain dual-use technology export to non-nuclear weapon states, so that it can be ensured that dual